Prince Harry stood in a London courtroom appearing visibly shaken, his voice reportedly breaking as he spoke about the pressure he says the British press has placed on his family. It was a moment designed to feel raw, personal, and impossible to ignore. But what made it even more striking was the timing, because while Harry was asking the court for accountability, fresh reports were quietly circulating that Meghan Markle's Netflix future might already be slipping away. And when those two stories collide, they raise a much bigger question about whether this long-running battle with the media is actually helping or hurting their position more than anyone expected. According to reports from inside the courtroom, Harry appeared close to tears as he wrapped up his testimony, turning toward the judge and describing what he called the personal toll of years of tabloid coverage. He claimed that by taking a stand against the press, the attention didn't fade but instead intensified, and that the ongoing scrutiny has made Meghan's life deeply difficult. Observers described a tense silence as he spoke, with his words clearly aimed not just at the legal arguments, but at public opinion itself. And while supporters saw vulnerability, critics immediately questioned whether emotion alone could carry the weight of such a high-stakes case. At the center of this lawsuit is Harry's claim that certain UK tabloids crossed legal lines in their reporting, allegedly using improper methods to gather information. This isn't a single isolated dispute, but part of a much larger, years-long campaign Harry has waged against the British press. He has repeatedly framed these cases as a fight for accountability rather than revenge, saying the goal is to stop harmful practices once and for all. But legal experts and commentators have pointed out that these cases are notoriously difficult to win, especially when they rely on events that stretch far back in time. What makes this trial especially risky is what could happen if it doesn't go Harry's way. Reports suggest that losing even part of the case could leave him responsible for massive legal costs, potentially running into the millions. That reality has led some observers to describe the lawsuit as a gamble rather than a stand, with very real financial consequences attached. Supporters argue that principles matter more than money, while critics say the risk seems dangerously high, especially given the couple's already complicated financial picture since stepping away from royal duties. Online and in the press, reactions to Harry's testimony have split almost perfectly down the middle. Some viewers say his emotional appearance reinforced the idea that he's been deeply affected by years of hostile coverage. Others weren't convinced, arguing that repeated legal action keeps the spotlight burning instead of dimming it. The familiar debate resurfaced almost instantly, whether Harry and Meghan are victims of unfair treatment, or whether their ongoing public battles unintentionally fuel the very attention they claim to want less of. What really turned this courtroom moment into a bigger story was what happened alongside it. As headlines focused on Harry's testimony, reports began circulating that Meghan's Netflix series with Love, Meghan may not be moving forward with a third season. Netflix itself stayed quiet, which only fueled speculation. To some observers, the overlap felt uncomfortable, suggesting that while Harry was appealing for understanding in court, the couple's commercial momentum might already be slowing behind the scenes. According to publicly discussed viewership data, the second season of With Love, Meghan failed to gain the traction many expected. Reports claim it ranked far lower than Netflix's major hits and struggled to maintain consistent interest after its release window. While exact figures are often debated, the overall picture painted by industry watchers is clear. The show didn't break through the way a marquee Netflix project usually does. And in the streaming world, performance often speaks louder than promises. Instead of an outright cancellation announcement, reports suggest Netflix may be shifting strategy. Rather than continuing with a full multi-episode season, the platform is rumored to be considering occasional themed specials instead. If true, this would allow Netflix to keep the partnership technically alive while significantly reducing costs. Supporters might frame this as a creative pivot, but critics see it as a clear downgrade, one that quietly acknowledges the series didn't deliver the return Netflix hoped for. Despite the underwhelming performance, many believe Netflix isn't ready to fully walk away. It's been said that the platform still sees long-term value in Harry and Meghan, particularly when it comes to potential documentaries or future projects tied to royal history. Keeping a first-look style relationship allows Netflix to stay in position without committing major resources. From a business standpoint, it's a cautious move, but it also signals that confidence has been replaced with hesitation. Harry's courtroom battle highlights a deeper issue. His ongoing war with the British press shows no sign of resolution. Each lawsuit reopens old wounds, replays familiar arguments, and reignites public debate. While Harry argues that silence would equal surrender, critics counter that constant legal action ensures the story never fades. The result is a cycle where every attempt to push back creates another wave of headlines, keeping the conflict permanently alive. Beyond legal fees and business deals, there's another cost that's harder to measure: public fatigue. Some commentators believe audiences are growing tired of the same disputes resurfacing year after year. Even sympathetic viewers have started to question whether the message is getting lost in repetition. In media culture, attention can quickly turn into exhaustion, and once that happens, even serious claims risk being brushed aside. If Harry were to win, it would be a symbolic victory he could point to as proof that his fight was justified. It would validate years of criticism aimed at the tabloids and potentially reshape how these outlets operate. But if he loses, the narrative could shift sharply, reinforcing claims that the battle was unwinnable from the start. Either outcome will echo far beyond the courtroom, shaping how future actions from Harry and Meghan are interpreted. Right now, Harry and Meghan appear to be standing at a crossroads. On one side is the pursuit of justice and control over their story. On the other is the reality of public perception, commercial performance, and long-term credibility. The courtroom tears, the Netflix uncertainty, and the divided public reaction all point to a single truth: this phase of their journey may determine how much influence they truly have moving forward. Prince Harry's emotional courtroom appearance wasn't just about a lawsuit, it was a snapshot of a much bigger struggle playing out in real time. As legal battles drag on and entertainment deals show signs of strain, the couple's future narrative feels more uncertain than ever. Whether this moment becomes a turning point or just another chapter in a long conflict depends on what happens next. And that's the part of the story no court ruling or streaming report can fully predict.